Join us as we explore innovative tech, societal impact, teaching methods, and behavioral change, exploring tech's impact, teaching hacks, and sustainable behavior changes with the STIB method.
And the third, sometimes because it's technology, sometimes you cannot really prove the first or the second, whether that's unique or impactful. Then if technology does magic, then it's assumed that over time that magical thing that technology does will find its application somewhere. The aspect is that there are companies directly becoming the members of the academic lab, which is unique. Well, there are similar examples, but the degree that is happening at the MIT Media Lab, again, I can tell you when the founder, Nicholas Negroponte, twice a year comes on the stage where in the big auditorium sit all these representatives, the leadership teams of these members, to listen to what new innovations have been produced. He says, while in your industries, most of the times your research and development projects cannot really fail. You need to work everything so everything gets some degree of success and profit. Whereas we can continue doing research, continue innovate, and bring these innovations in a way, in a fashion that is not possible anywhere else. And I think this is a very powerful message. And also what I wanted to say is thanks to his and others' great communication skills. It's powerful when scientists and scientific community can communicate in such a powerful and persuasive ways that it brings the science as close as possible to the industry.
And as a professor, you're actually teaching classes, correct?
Yes.
And so when you teach in class, you have a group of students. Like, how do you figure out this student needs this student interaction? Because obviously all of you have different things, different backgrounds, different smarts, different whatever the case be. How do you figure out to make sure you give each student the best experience possible while taking your course?
Again, I use the same nature-given, let's say, approach, which is shortcut. So my shortcut to the student success is a belief that just like students, many other people will be the most successful if they don't have any barriers holding them back. Most of the times, those are unanswered questions, especially for the students. The students sometimes those questions are related with the subject, sometimes with the program, sometimes with the school, sometimes with the university, and sometimes outside of it. And my teaching philosophy has always been, and I always tell this to the students during the first class, my teaching philosophy is, if you want to progress with anything, and especially if you come to this class and you want to learn and develop, if there are questions and you don't have answers to, and they spiral in your brain and you can't pay attention, I don't want that. I want you to be successful. So you run, if it's perfectly fine with everybody, then we can do it so that it helps everyone and we speak it publicly. Or if it's a question that you would like to share just with me, I can help you during the break. But for me, people experience a slowing down their progress because the question, I don't have the answer. As a teacher, my philosophy is if I can help removing or giving answers, or at least guiding them to the answer, then their learning and their development goes faster. So that's my shortcut. It's very universal. And I do two things. I inspire and encourage. Inspire, encourage, inspire, and them to reveal those questions that they are stuck with.
So next, talk about what is this thing called the STIB method? What's that all about?
Yeah, so the STIB method is this collection of tools that I have together with my media lab from Canada, from Germany, from Latvia, from many other countries, from Finland, have been developing over the years. And it's a tool set. And it started with understanding that behavioral change failed so many times that I became so curious, how can we make it sustainable? sustain itself. So many studies just, you run something, you let the people do something different, and then you stop that intervention, and then they roll back to where they were and even worse. And I was like, that's not sustainable. It's unsustainable. And over time, we collected some of the insights from already established social scientists, and they became the tools in a tool set. So there is a transformation design framework, and that has 8 tools. It starts with some of the tools from the deeper science, from social sciences, and then goes over to the work that we added, which helps to design technology-driven technologies or systems that give instant feedback loops that remove the attitudinal barriers. Just like with the salespeople of the CRM system, they see other actually have no problem. Okay, we don't have problem too. And then there were some other more of a universal, like a guiding tools that were added on top of those, which is more introductory and can be used without technologies. And that whole paradigm that starts with the fact that we better understand how human change works, then we technologies that is helping us to human behavior individualization, or method as an overarching term which encompasses these.
How long did it take you to come up with this process? I guess this is like a lifelong journey. I'm sure just like didn't wake up one day and it's in your brain. Like it's a lifelong journey, right?
It's a lifelong. My first self-driven behavior change happened when I was around 14 to 15 years young. I was overweight. And by the way, there are some talks on online that has all my childhood pictures. I have had this problem with the weight management all my life.